Why was the Book of Enoch removed from the Bible? The earth-shattering secrets it reveals. Part 1. The Hook and the Promise. Friends, gather close in this digital sanctuary where the flickering glow of the screen replaces the ancient candlelight and the whispers of history replace the rustle of aged scrolls. For centuries, the canon of Scripture has shaped our understanding of the divine, guiding our faith and illuminating our path. Yet, imagine a vast library where certain profound volumes, once revered, were slowly, deliberately removed from the shelves, their very existence fading into the shadows of collective memory. What if one such book, brimming with cosmic revelations, angelic narratives, and prophecies of astonishing scope, was consciously excised from the collection we now call the Holy Bible? Tonight, we embark on a journey into the heart of one of the greatest theological mysteries, the enigmatic Book of Enoch. Why was this text, once championed by early church fathers and quoted within the New Testament itself, ultimately cast aside? What earth-shattering secrets did it reveal that proved too unsettling, too challenging, or perhaps too inconvenient for those who shaped the sacred text we know today? We will delve into its origins, unravel its controversial narratives, and explore the profound implications of its absence. Prepare yourselves, for we are about to uncover a forgotten chapter in the saga of faith, a story etched not just in ink, but in the very fabric of the cosmos. Part 2. The Journey of Deep Discovery. A. The historical and cultural context, a voice from the intertestamental period. To understand the Book of Enoch, we must first transport ourselves to a turbulent and fertile period in Jewish history, the centuries between the Old and New Testaments, often referred to as the intertestamental period. This was a time of immense spiritual ferment, foreign occupations, and a burgeoning apocalyptic worldview. It was a period when authors, grappling with divine justice and the problem of evil, sought answers beyond the traditional prophetic narratives. The figure of Enoch, a patriarch described in Genesis 5:24 as one who walked with God, and he was no more, for God took him, held a unique mystique. He was seen as a man of exceptional piety, a recipient of divine secrets, and one who escaped death, a perfect vessel for revelations concerning the unseen realms. The Book of Enoch is not a single, unified text, but rather a compilation of several distinct works, predominantly dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. It emerged from this rich tapestry of Jewish thought, reflecting an intense longing for understanding divine judgment, the origin of evil, and the ultimate destiny of humanity. While it was highly influential among Jewish communities and early Christians, its eventual exclusion from the Jewish canon, the Tanakh, and most Christian canons, is a complex tale involving linguistic shifts, theological consolidation, and the gradual solidification of what constituted inspired scripture. Its survival owes much to the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, which still regards it as canonical, preserving it in the ancient Ge'ez language. B. Decoding the Scripture, Angels, Giants, and Cosmic Tours. What, then, are these earth-shattering secrets contained within its pages? The Book of Enoch provides breathtaking expansions on biblical narratives, offering details nowhere else found in canonical scripture. Perhaps its most famous and controversial contribution is the elaborate account of the Watchers. Building upon the cryptic verses of Genesis 6:1-4, which mention the sons of God taking daughters of humans as wives, Enoch identifies these sons of God as angels, specifically, a group of 200 watchers who descended from heaven. Led by Semi-Haza and Azazel, they swore an oath, defiled themselves with human women, and taught humanity forbidden knowledge, metallurgy, cosmetics, warfare, and divination. And they took wives for themselves, and everyone chose for himself one, and they began to go into them, and to defile themselves with them, and to teach them charms and spells, and the cutting of roots, and they made them acquainted with plants, and they became pregnant, and they bore great giants, whose height was 3,000 cubits. These devoured all the acquisitions of men, until men were unable to sustain them, and the giants turned against them in order to devour men. Et Enoch hu, et fura. These offspring, the Nephilim, are depicted as monstrous giants who ravage the earth, consuming all its produce and eventually turning to cannibalism, leading to widespread violence and corruption. This narrative provides a comprehensive explanation for the pervasive evil that necessitated the Great Flood, presenting a cosmic rebellion that profoundly impacted earthly affairs. Beyond the Watchers, Enoch describes his own ascent through the heavens, guided by angels, where he witnesses the mysteries of creation, the storehouses of winds, the chambers of hail and snow, and the movements of celestial bodies. He sees the abodes of the righteous and the damned, and receives revelations concerning the Messiah, the final judgment, and the eternal destinies of souls. He records precise astronomical observations and even presents a sophisticated solar calendar, distinct from the lunar calendar prevalent in many ancient cultures. This Book of the Luminaries, chapters 72 to 82, reveals a profound interest in cosmology and divine order. Moreover, Enoch contains extensive apocalyptic visions, notably the Book of Parables, or Similitudes, chapters 37 to 71. Here, Enoch introduces the figure of the Son of Man, a pre-existent, messianic figure chosen by God to execute judgment and rule over the righteous. This concept of the Son of Man bears striking resemblances to the portrayal of Jesus in the New Testament, particularly in the Gospels and the Book of Revelation. C. The hidden theological meaning, the origin of evil and cosmic justice. The theological implications of Enoch are profound. It offers a detailed etiology of evil, attributing its proliferation not just to human sin, but to a preceding cosmic rebellion initiated by celestial beings. This provides a compelling framework for understanding the relentless struggle between good and evil that permeates biblical thought. The Watcher's transgression explains the corruption of both spirit and flesh, linking divine judgment to a cosmic scale of justice. Enoch also delves deeply into angelology and demonology, categorizing various angelic orders and detailing the fates of the fallen. It underscores the concept of divine accountability, not only for humanity, but for all created intelligent beings. It paints a vivid picture of a structured cosmos, governed by intricate divine laws, where every transgression has a consequence, and every righteous act is remembered. The book's emphasis on judgment, resurrection, and eternal rewards and punishments also significantly shaped eschatological beliefs in early Judaism and Christianity. It gave form and substance to concepts that were often hinted at or less fully developed in the canonical Hebrew scriptures. D. Controversies and theories. Why the exclusion? Given its profound influence in ancient pedigree, why was the Book of Enoch largely excluded from the canons of Scripture? Several theories exist: apostolic authority and pseudepigrapha. The early church gradually moved towards texts directly attributable to apostles or prophets recognized within the Hebrew tradition. While Enoch was revered, it was ultimately considered pseudepigrapha, attributed to a historical figure, but not written by him. As the canon solidified, this distinction became crucial. Heresy and unorthodoxy. Some of its teachings, particularly its detailed angelology and elaborate cosmic narratives, might have been deemed too speculative or too far removed from the core tenets of emerging Christian doctrine. The graphic details of fallen angels and Nephilim, while providing answers, might have also raised more questions or provided too much fertile ground for heterodox beliefs. Emphasis on physical resurrection versus soul's immortality. Certain elements might have clashed with evolving theological perspectives. The book's unique calendar, for example, might have been seen as diverging from established Jewish practices. Novelty and non-integration. While quoted, Enoch was not as systematically integrated into the broader theological discourse of the Synoptic Gospels or Pauline epistles as, say, the prophets or Psalms. Its distinctiveness might have contributed to its eventual marginalization. Focus on Jewish identity. For Judaism, the canon closed after the era of prophecy, and texts like Enoch, though popular, were seen as external to the central narrative of Israel's covenant with God. For a burgeoning Christianity, the focus shifted to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus as the central interpretive lens, potentially diminishing the perceived necessity of Enoch's comprehensive cosmic history. It is crucial to remember that canonical decisions were not always clear-cut or universally agreed upon. The process was gradual, influenced by a confluence of theological, political, and cultural factors. The inclusion of Jude's direct quotation from Enoch, Jude 1:14-1:5, Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone, and to convict all of them of all the ungodly acts they have committed in their ungodliness, and of all the defiant words ungodly sinners have spoken against him, demonstrates that the book was certainly considered authoritative by some early Christian writers, yet its canonical fate diverged significantly from other scriptures. Part 3. The Eternal Echo. So, we return from our journey through the forgotten isles of ancient scripture, the echoes of Enoch's voice still resonating in our minds. We have glimpsed a world where angelic rebellion shaped the very landscape of earth, where giants roamed, and where cosmic secrets were unveiled to a man who walked with God. We have explored the historical crucible from which this text emerged, and grappled with the complex reasons for its eventual exclusion from most sacred canons. Yet, its removal does not diminish its profound theological and historical significance. The Book of Enoch remains a testament to the fervent spiritual imagination of ancient peoples, a powerful witness to their attempts to reconcile the presence of evil with a just and sovereign God. It leaves us with questions that linger like the scent of ancient parchment. What truly constitutes divine revelation? How do we discern the sacred from the merely inspired? And what wisdom, perhaps too challenging for one era, might still hold keys to understanding our own? The saga of Enoch reminds us that the quest for truth is an ongoing journey, often leading us down paths less traveled, towards texts that whisper forgotten secrets, inviting us to look beyond the familiar and ponder the vast, awe-inspiring tapestry of the divine narrative. The candlelight may flicker, but the pursuit of understanding burns eternally.